Hi everyone. So today we are going to talk about idempotent API, right? So what is idempotent API? Idempotent API actually means that any operation, it does not matter we are doing how many number of times in our server, it only changes the state of our server once, okay? Like the side effect or something you can say, like the change of the state change of the server will be only once, no matter how many times of we are doing the API call, right? Okay, so let me just give a example so we can just understand it better. Suppose we have a client, we have a API, and this is a payment. Let me just another database called user. Doesn't matter. Okay. So suppose we have a client who want to actually update his name. Okay, we want to update his name, right? So he did a put request, like he this client just request a put request that he want to update our name from X to Y, and it does not reach to the server. Okay, it just got cancelled. Okay, it does not reach to the server. So this is the first case. Okay, so at that time client can retry again. Now this time it goes run to the API, and it is just processing. It just processing stage. Okay, but the request took some delay. Okay, so at that time the client got a timed out, and he again did the same request to the server. Now what is happening? It is processing, though it got delay, but it will update the username to Y. Suppose it again came this. It is another new request. Actually, we all know it is actually another new request. So what does it happen? We already have this has already changed X to Y. So if we doing put on the ID, like fetching the ID and input, so it does not change anything else. So it will again update Y to Y. Okay. So there would be not any problem. We wanted it to be Y. So there would not be any problem, right? So this is called idempotency, right? We can see that any number of time, suppose another request came with the same thing. Any number of time we're trying to do X to Y, it does not changing uh, the state of our server, and it does not actually hampering anything, any logic. We can see that we are doing any number of retries, any number of requests, it does not doing any problem, right? Now suppose this is going for the suppose we are doing a post request, right? We are doing a post request. So now what will happen? Suppose in post request we want to post request generally create resources in our database, right? So suppose while we are doing the post request, before reaching to the API server, it got cancelled. So it would not cause any problem. The client would again retry. So the same situation, it is in the if it hits the API, it is in processing stage. It is actually processing, but it got some delay. We got some delay, so user got a timed out, and it user got a timeout, right? But this is still processing, right? And did another post request. So while this is doing, though the user got timeout, but what this timeout means? This timeout means that the processing is still on, and it might get succeeded, but user does not get any response, right? Maybe it took too long time, or there might be any network problem. We don't know. We are not going to the depth that why this timeout happened. Why did not user get any response? Okay, this is not our concern right now. So another post request came. It is also doing the processing, and created user. Okay, so some let's say user is update created in database. Okay, so suppose user wanted to create his user want to create a user, right? He want to making an account something. So what happens is that we have duplicate users in our database, right? Because for this one, this will first, for this one this will be another. Okay, so we can see that the request is same. Because we are hitting multiple times, we are getting duplicate entries, right? So this is a crucial problem every time it happens, right? This mainly happens in every type of things like in the payment system. So suppose this is a user and we just we not see we don't see this critical problem right now. Okay, suppose just go along with that. If this happens in a system like payment, okay. So now see what is happening. User is doing a request. His payment is still processing and it gets deducted from his account later. While at that time, user already did another request for the same thing. So user is doing multiple times transactions for a single payment, right? Multiple times for a single payment. So this is a major problem we can see, right? The user is getting a multiple times. This is a crucial. So post request is not by default idempotent. API is not idempotent means that we know the use case of request. Like what does get to, what does delete to, what does put to, what does post to. So if we go along, we know that if we do get, put, delete, it all are idempotent by nature. Well, the logic says every time. Suppose you just failed a get request, you doing multiple get requests, it will give you same data. It does not change or hamper anything here. For the put, I already described that how put request is. Yeah, we can see that how put request is working here, so it is not changing. And for the delete, suppose you have a product X and you want to delete it multiple times, so your logic will first delete it, and how many times so will you delete, right? It does not affect because our main concern is deleting something. So it does not matter how many times you are going to calling the delete, right? But for the create, this is a major problem, right? We do post. So for this, we actually use idempotent key, idempotency key, right? So this is a one type of unique header. This is actually a unique ID that actually represents that actually changes with payload. So as we know that we like every document or every entry in our database, we always have a ID, right? Which defines that this is our entry. So this unique ID, like this idempotency key, actually defines that this is our request. Same request come if payload does not changes, this unique ID never gets changes. So let me just describe that how it works. Right? I hope until this everything is clear. Suppose suppose how it works, right? So mm, it is our client. Let me just write. It is our client. Okay. He actually what he do? He actually adds a request header. which is idempotency key in idempotency key. In request header, I will have a idempotency key. Okay. So what happens? It first goes to the server, and the server first checks that if is my request have any idempotency key or not. Okay, idempotency key or not. If no, then it will give a error like validation error. If I say validation error, validation error. Sorry for my handwriting. I will. So suppose we have see now it goes yes. We already have the key in our header, so my request is processing. So here it actually checks if this key is already present, in our database or not, in database or not. Okay. So what does the database store? Database actually store the key and the state or the current state. Okay. What does this state means? The state means that key is identifying our request, right? And the state means that in which stage the request is. Suppose it may be in creation stage, it may be in processing stage, and it may be in like consume stage, consumed stage. Okay. So this actually depends on the implementation. This implementation is always vary actually. So this actually what it says, right? So suppose a request came and it had seen that this key is already present in our database. Okay, so he will simply reject this. Okay, if it is present, it will simply reject this. Okay, we don't need the process because it is still processing in our database, so everything is all right. And then we go to the no stage. Right? This is not present in our database, so now what it will do? It will create in database same like the idempotency key, this key, and the state will be in creation stage. Okay. Now this actually varies on the logic, as I say. Like if it is going to processing, so before that I will change this state to processing, and then I will change this to while it will be processed, I will change it to consumed. Right. Okay. So basically, we actually for this actually our in-memory database is at in-memory. Something will always happen. Like we can store it in Redis or something. This is a key value pair database. Okay. So we can store in memory like in Redis. So it will do the first lookup and just check and just give us the what we need or not. So actually, I think everyone is clear because I already explained with the example. Again, I just say that the request is already here. Suppose, uh, just a second. Okay, yeah. Suppose this is our client here. My post request is coming. The transaction is coming, right? I have made the transaction. I have attached a request header. Maybe I have let's say I just name the unique ID identity of this XYZ. Okay. Let's say it is XYZ. Okay. Identity is XYZ. Okay. It first comes to the request header and it see that it goes here and it see that I already have the XYZ. Okay. So it then go to the key, right? Does this key already present? No, this is our first time. So it is going to the database, it is creating this creation and it do the transaction all, it do the transaction, right? It like before doing the processing, it will be a processing, right? Then let's say while this processing taking time, we got a timed out here. So say this processing, while this processing is on the way, we got a timed out, right? So now again I'm going to this example same. Let's see where was this? Yeah. So here we see that same request. So another push request will come here. So this is our here. So another transaction request come. It again see this is in no. This goes to key. But at this time, you can see that in our database this key already present and it is a processing stage, right? So it will not process this request and it will simply reject that. Okay, everything is all right. So we handle this. Actually, this is how it is handled. So we can see, and suppose another request came with the same like there may be this request never got accepted or it does not get any response. So what happens actually? Now this state, suppose what I was right now telling is suppose our API call come while it is processing another API come, right? This is a sequential API call. We can see this is a sequential API call, right? Sequential API call. Okay, so we can see this is a sequential API call. Now, not every time we have sequential API call, right? In our database, we might have parallel API call. So maybe two requests coming together. Anyhow, I don't want to know the logic why it is happening. It not maybe in the transaction. It maybe in two browsers we have two separate browsers, and from one browser and the second browser, both users same account is open, and they are from both they are doing the transaction, right? The parallel request is coming. So what now happened? Suppose parallel request is coming now. Oh, sorry. Now both requests came here. Both requests will find the ID, right? And here the main problem is here. What is happening? We see that we have the key. We don't have the key. Both the request, though the both requests are same, request one, request two, both are same, but we can see that both are not in our database. Okay, so that will create a multiple request. So again that problem. If I have the parallel request, so how will we actually solve this? Yeah. So how will we solve this? So actually this is a system design question asked many times. Like after this, how will you solve this? So we can actually use mutual exclusion, right? Mutual exclusion, right? We can use some type of distributed locks. This is not distributed. We can use some type of locks here. Where locks? Locks in creating this. Suppose while we are not getting validated and checking this, okay, we will create a lock here, right? So if we create a lock, uh, both can come and see that we already have the key, and now because we have lock, both the request can't access this at same time, right? This is the nature of the lock. We can't actually use the same resource at the same time. So what it will do, one request come, it will create and do the processing and just get off our like a logic and go to the consume stage. For the second request, now both parallel requests coming because of the lock. Then second request will come and see that, oh, I already have that uh, uh, idempotency, so it will actually get out of the our concern. Like it will go to the yes and it will be rejected, right? So we also handle this request. So yeah, that's all for this video, and I hope you all liked it and just give me some feedbacks. Okay, yeah. So and hopefully I will uh, I will come with the payment gateway in the like system design of a complete payment gateway might be upcoming next on my next videos or something else. Yeah, I will let you know. Yeah. So thank you everyone. Have a great day.